What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about studying/reading in Hogwarts Legacy. If you can believe it, yes, we are going to do this topic, but it's because it's something we really have never talked about before. Now, I actually got this suggestion from Logan Gallant over on Twitter. He had asked me the question, what do you think about reading, studying? And we have briefly touched upon it. But in terms of can you swim and jumping and these more like full length or sneaking out, right? Like we've had some full length discussions on certain aspects of this game. And we've never really done one with the idea of, how important is the library and what can you actually do with books in this game, right? Like how integral are they going to be to the game? So that's what I want to talk about in this video. I do think they're going to be somewhat integral. This is easily something I could see hiding until the game comes out. This is, like for swimming, it's kind of 50-50. Like, should you show swimming before the game actually comes out? I mean, I would certainly like it, but if you wanted to hide it until the game came out, you'd have a lot of people with their minds blown, when the game actually releases. But reading and studying, it's something like, how it maybe influences the leveling up of your character and unlocking things, right, in your kind of abilities charts that you're going to have. Like, what is it, or unlocking spells, like, what is it actually going to do? And it is something that I could easily see them just completely ignore. I mean, well, ignore to an extent, right? Because again, they have focused an okay amount on the library. We even have the librarian, right, in the CCXP trailer, I believe, right? The very quick little clip. So like they have shown it a little bit. I think even you and Sebastian, there's a little, kind of segment where there's reading and books in the library as well. So I do imagine it's going to be pretty integral, and it's integral really to the books and movies of Harry Potter too. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge and a plot, like things to actually progress the plot that can be learned by having characters talk about what they read in a book, or they learned something because of a book. And I don't think that's something you can kind of just, shrug off in this game. I do think reading and books, of course, have to be a integral part to it. Now, it doesn't have to get super in-depth. And what I mean by that, and there are people, I've seen this, I'm sure I'll actually get comments in this video talking about it. I'm sure there are people that would not mind at all. And in a way, I wouldn't. Like literally opening a book and having to read like page upon page upon page with actual words, like nonstop, like literally reading a book, but you read it in the game. I know there's people that have already said they would do that, in comments of past videos. And again, to an extent, I mean, like, I think I would do it like a little just to kind of see it, but eventually, and again, that's why I kind of bring it up. You got to be real. You got to be real with it and say it's not going to be like that. If anything, it would be, and this was an idea I had long ago, when not necessarily when I never really thought this would be a simulation game, but if they took time maybe a little bit, not seriously, but if time was very specific, because it doesn't seem too specific, right? Day-night cycles, besides day-night cycles, it doesn't really differentiate between noon and 1 p.m., let's say, right? So back in that era where maybe it did, maybe it literally told you the time. Maybe like having or required times, or times you could just go out and do whatever, where you dedicate to read. And it's almost like The Sims. You just have which in some ways, like decorating the room of requirement is very Sims, Dreamlight Valley, Animal Crossing. There is some sim-like elements in this game. There are. I think people maybe thought that would be all the game, where it's only kind of select things. But in that era, I would have said, well, maybe you can dedicate some time every day, or, once a week or whatever, to reading. And when you read, you gain this knowledge of some kind. So I don't think it's going to be that. I do think the library will be, in quests, whether it be main quests or side quests. But I do have a feeling you are going to be able to do something with books in this game to get ahead in some way. And it would have to be during, like, your spare time, which really, as we know in this game, right, is kind of all the time. So the game keeps track of day, night, and then remember, really, to advance I just gave it away. To advance the time, like the seasons and the plot, you do the quest, you do the main quest, and that'll move things forward. So if you're not doing the main quest, things are just happening. Like just every day is just going on. It may not be November 11th and then November 12th and then November. It's not going to be like that, but the days will just keep going. So you're going to have a lot of free time. In fact, you're going to have as much or as little time as you want to give yourself, right? As a player going through just not doing main quests, you'll have as much or as little time as you want. So doing some sort of light reading, at the library, I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be kind of a cool little sim-like approach, but it wouldn't be full on, right? Because you wouldn't be, again, saying, well, every day for 3 hours between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m., I'm going to read the book to gain, a trait. Maybe you have a trait that's like knowledge, and it's going to increase that trait to, you got to get it to level 5 or whatever. Like, it's not going to be that stuff, right? But it can be somewhat in that realm. Like, I would like to be able to learn at least one spell. Just one. Give me one spell because you do something off the beaten path. And I guess, that opens up for a lot of other things, right? Not even necessarily reading, but I think it'd be cool to have something like that is important. And you can imagine, like, if you're literally living a student's life in Hogwarts, you're gonna gain some sort of knowledge from reading. So to have your character read a book in this game, and I imagine you're gonna be able to have them do that, but then have no impact on the character whatsoever, is not now, I guess, realistic, right? Like, do you want to bring realism into discussions about video games in the wizarding world? Maybe not necessarily, but it does make sense that if you read, you gain some sort of knowledge from reading. So maybe, now an easier thing, right? So I say a spell, one spell. There's not an infinite amount of spells, but maybe learning a potion or a charm or something that maybe there'd be more of, right? I can imagine there actually being several charms in this game, maybe more than spells, maybe more than potions, right? Maybe like literally just the quantity would be more. Maybe you learn one of them by reading, and you wouldn't learn it if you didn't read, or you could learn it a different way if you didn't read, right? Maybe you have to go to a class so many times. I mean, like, they could still do stuff like that. Maybe not going to a class so many times. I don't think the game will work like that anymore, but maybe doing a side quest with a certain professor that is optional. You don't have to do it. Maybe that would give you something. Or you don't have to do that. You could read. And if you read, you could get it instead. So I hope, I really do. I hope there's something like that. I easily imagine you're going to see other people do it, but it gets a little controversial for me for that, where it's like, look, everything that I say like that in this game, I don't want to see other people do it. I would, and I think actually people have pointed that out, if you do want to dig at them just a little bit, to watch other people do Quidditch, to watch other people do Wizard's Chess, to watch other people swim, if that's the case, right? I'm just kind of throwing out what ifs. If we're only watching others do it, yes, that definitely adds to the realism and like having the world actually feel alive. And I will give them significant props for that, because I've been asking for that, right? So I do like that. But if all we're doing is watching other people do things that honestly we would want to do in the game, then it becomes an issue. And I'm not saying reading books is the breaking point, that if we can't read books but we see other people read books, I'm going to flip a desk or something. I'm not saying that, but you guys get the point, right? I don't want it to be, well, reading would be fun. Well, we have reading, but you watch other people read. Well, swimming's fun. Well, yeah, swimming is fun, but you can watch other people swim. You can't do it. Eventually, it just becomes like, all right, well, why are you having everybody else do it, but the main character can't? So that's it is something they have to be, careful on. And again, I'm not saying reading a book is the breaking point, but it would just be another one of those things tagged onto it. But I could see reading happening, to be honest with you. Just what it would do to your character, obviously a little bit more fuzzy on, and not 100% sure. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Let me know your theories, your thoughts. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I'll see you all on the next one.